Hello and welcome again for this new lesson third secondary stage, the second semester. The name of the lesson unit 6 vocabulary and grammar. The name of the course is Traveler 6. The lesson as usual prepared by Noura Sufyani and presented by Faisal Al-Shehri. Let's move to the objectives of our lesson for today, and as you know, the objectives is the heart of the lesson. If you understand the objectives very well, you are going to understand the lesson as well. Okay, so we have two objectives. Number one, to practice using some confusing words in sentences correctly, and also to apply the conditional sentences as well as correctly. Okay, so we are going to practice using some confusing words and also apply the conditional sentence. We are going to know what is the meaning of conditional sentence and how to use them. Welcome, Jamila. Welcome to our lesson for today, and let's move to the first slide, which is vocabulary. Now, what can you see on the right side? You can see young man, and also a moderate man, and also old man. They are stand on currencies or some coins. We have also annual income. So what do you think that you are going to talk about? What do you think that we are going to talk about? Is it something related to home? Or even driving car? Or it might be related to money. Okay, so just focus on the red words because it might be confused for some. So we are going to read the whole statement so we might get a whole idea. Words combinations. My annual income is barely enough to cover my expenses, so I have to stick to a tight budget to make ends meet. So it's talking about annual income. What is the meaning of annual income? Okay, it says the statement here that my annual income is barely enough to cover my expenses, so I have to stick to a tight budget to make ends meet. Okay, so don't forget, Jamila, that we might ask you later on it in a separate exercise what is the meaning of annual income. Okay, so number two, if I start a pension plan now, I will be able to live comfortably when I retire. If I start a pension plan now, I will be able to live comfortably when I retire. Retire means after spending regular amount of certain of years in public or even private sector, in any country. Retire or retirement. Okay. Now let's move to the words in fact easily confused. Bonus, realities, allowance. Okay. We need to know the difference between realities, allowances, and bonus. Okay. So it says the first sentence, the realities from the books written in his youth helped him maintain a good standard of living even after he stopped writing. So what is the meaning of realities here? Someone wrote a book and after, let's say, 10 or 15 years, he stopped writing, but he still get a benefit of realities from writing that book. What is the meaning of realities? And the same thing will be with allowance. So the second sentence, when I was young, my parents would give me a weekly allowance, which I usually spend on sweets. So can you see a difference between realities here and allowance? Is it the same? Is it the same? Okay, you say no, right? The third sentence, Ibrahim was elected Employee of the Year by his colleagues and received a bonus for his outstanding performance. So the meaning of bonus here, is it the same of realities, allowance, or might be different? Is it the same? All right. So bonus is the same of realities, allowance. We want to check that if you get the right um, answer or not. We have an exercise and we need to focus on the meaning. Now, number one, he is a successful writer and earns thousands of dollars a year from the realities, the allowance, or bonus on his book. What do you think? C. Do you remember the previous slide, Jamila? When we talk about someone who write and get the money back after long years of stop writing. Okay, you B. All right, I'll select and then we can see. Set B. Number two, at first I wasn't interested in starting an old age pension elderly plan, but my best friend convinced me of having one. So what do you think, as you understand the previous slide, the right answer for this sentence? Is it A, B, or C? Okay, I'm waiting your answer. You're expecting C, okay? So I'm going to select C. We are going to see that if it's right or not. All right. The right answers for number one is realities. And if you can remember the previous slide, we're talking about the previous the slide we're talking about writer who get the money as a realities after stop writing for a long time. So A is right answer, and pension is as well the right answer for 2. Okay, good try, Jamila. We have I think more than one exercise left, so just focus. As you read the objectives, we have two parts of this lesson. We in the first part, which is vocabulary, and now we move to the second part, which is a grammar. Okay, but I want to ask you a question. Do you have any idea about conditional sentences? Do you know what is the meaning of conditional sentences? When to use them and how to use them as well? Any idea, Jamila? Okay. the conditional sentences, you can figure out it easily. You can figure out this conditional sentence easily by finding if in the sentence. We call it clauses. If clause, main clause. Okay. We have 4 types of conditional sentence. When we are talking about truths or something always happen, we use this structure. If you phrase water, it will be usually in the present simple, and the answer of that condition as well in the present tense, it turns into eyes. So this is absolutely true. Okay, like the sun rise, the sunset. This is truth. Okay, so if you phrase water, it turns into eyes. This is the form of the truth, especially conditional sentence. You cannot say if you phrase water and stop. Why? You cannot say if you phrase water and stop, not completing the rest. Why this is not considering a right structure? Because we couldn't understand what you want to say. If you phrase the water and then what? You stop speaking. We couldn't understand anything. Okay, so the first case is eternal truth. Or even something always happy, like prayer 5 times, or going to school, or drinking coffee every morning. You can use this present simple, and the main clause will be a present simple. All right. The second form of the conditional sentence is anything possible to happen in future. If I find your email, and this is conditional sentence, we need a good answer for that. I will send you the picture. So the main clause here is in the future, and we are using, as you can see, will. Okay, a will means that the sentence after we're going to talk about is going to talk about future. Okay. Now, possible and unlikely in the present. If I found your email, and you can notice now that we are talking about present in the possible and likely, and now we are talking about past, we need to focus on the main clause. I would send you the picture. Future, but now with would. Okay. And the last thing, which is impossible, but in the past, if I had studied, and you can see past perfect because we are using had, I would have passed the test. Future perfect would plus have plus the past participle. Now, Jamila, and this is an information. You cannot say the if clause without the main clause. Okay, but you can say the main clause without if clause sometimes. I mean, it will give you a meaning. I will send you a picture. I would send you a picture. Okay, I would have passed the test. But you cannot say if clause without the main clause. Okay? Any questions related to this? All right. Now more explanation about this grammar rule. Zero conditional sentence. The if clause will be in the present. Now, if you can see if you heat water at 100 degrees, it boils. Fact universal. I mean, this is well known. I drink coffee. If I drink coffee, I get a headache. This is fact, but personal, because sometimes people drinking coffee without feeling any kind of this headache. All right. So you can use it with your own personal fact or experiences, and also you can apply it with the fact, universal facts. Okay, if you heat water, it boils. So this is, as I told you before, it's truth or something always happen. Now, the first, the conditional sentence type 1, if plus the present sentence, present symbol. This is, we call it if clause. Okay, plus the subject, and then will, and you need to do the complete the sentence with the right verb. So if I study, I will pass. And if we just circle it, it might be easy for you to figure out that what we are going to talk about. For example, if plus the present and a subject plus will do. So this side, if I study, and the main clause I will pass. So we need to circle it. You can easily figure out the meaning of the clause. Okay, whether is it if or the main. Now the subject here is it will or pass? Where is the subject in the second or the main clause, Jamila? The future. Yeah, but where is the subject? Is it will or pass? Well, just focus before well. Is there anything related to this? The subject sometimes pronoun or even a noun, whether name of a person or a name of the things. Okay, pass is the object or the action, but subject is I. Okay, you can see it. I will pass. The subject here is I. The second conditional sentences. Now, you can see if clauses, the structure, she knew the answer, she would tell us. Now, what can you notice now here, Jamila? The main clause in the second conditional sentence, after the subject, we are using would. After the subject, we are using would. If I were you, I would go home, for example. If Martin could come, he would be here. If they had more time, they would stay longer. And the last sentence, if the Sir and Jane lived in a big city, they would like it better. Okay? Now you can notice in the basic verbs, the basic form, and over here we are talking about past tense for the verb in the if clauses, and the main clauses, the verb in the basic form or the base form. Okay? The third conditional sentence, if I had money, it would have been happy. Now we can see that we are talking about past perfect in the main clauses. So would have plus the verb not in the base form but in the past participle. You can see I couldn't say be or even was aware. We should write be because there's something before this word, which is have or has. All right. When do we use this? Unreal conditional. If there's something imaginary, something unreal, just use this structure. All right. Here we go with the overall conditional sentences and how to use them as well. We have explained all these things in the previous slides. Any questions, Jamila, related to this slide? Okay. Can you write the first sentence? I don't think it's a good idea to buy second-hand car. We need to write it, but using F. If I were you, I wouldn't buy a second-hand car. If you apply for one more credit card, you will regret it pretty soon. The last sentence, if you hadn't missed the bus, you wouldn't have been late for school. All right, now the summary of the lesson. We start with vocabulary and words easily confused and words combinations, and then we move to the conditional sentences, how to use them with the 4 different structures.